I looked around the almost empty room and asked, "Are you ready to go?" My companion sighed. "Just waiting for the movers," they said, sounding relieved. "Honestly, I won't miss you." And changing the locks, like I'd try to break in, was a bit much. I had always wondered why such drastic steps were needed, but now, it didn't seem to matter. When I first met Kevin, he was quiet and cared a lot about what others thought. After we got married, he became the perfect example of a husband who let his wife control everything. A week after I moved into my new home, Kevin showed up, desperate. "It's me. Open the door," he pleaded. I pretended not to recognize him, acting like I didn't know who he was. "My name is Carol. I'm 34, working part-time, 4 days a week. Kevin and I have been married for 3 years. We don't have kids, but I thought we could still be happy together. At the start of our marriage, we'd stay up late, talking about our future. We were both new to love, careful but enjoying each other's company. Let's grow old together," I told him one night. "I like that idea. Maybe 3 kids? A boy and a girl?" That's exactly what I was thinking. These conversations felt special, especially since I had never been too interested in love or marriage. Meeting Kevin was unexpected. We met at a party neither of us wanted to be at. He seemed just as bored as I was, and we bonded over that, eventually becoming friends. Kevin was serious and a little reserved, but always kind. I found that charming. Then, out of nowhere, he proposed. "Carol, will you marry me? I want to make you happy." "What? But we're not even dating." He was completely serious. Instead of scaring me away, his confidence made me think about a future with him. "If you're sure about this, then yes." He was so happy. At that moment, I thought maybe life had given me something special. We rushed into marriage, tying the knot just 2 months after meeting. We didn't know much about relationships, so we made mistakes, but that was part of the adventure. However, a month after moving in together, I realized marriage wasn't what I expected. One day, Kevin sat me down, looking serious. "Carol, I need to talk to you," he said. Then he asked me to quit my job and become a housewife. I was shocked. He had never said anything about this before. "Why?" I asked. "When you work, it makes me feel useless," he admitted. "Did someone tell you that?" "No, but at my job, all the other men's wives stay home. That's just how it is. We had agreed before marriage that I would keep working." His sudden change confused me. "But we planned for me to work." "We need the money." "I know, but as my wife, I hoped you'd care about how I feel. Why don't we just pretend I quit?" "No one has to know," I joked. Kevin didn't laugh. He was too worried about what others thought. "My coworkers and bosses will think I'm weak. I'm supposed to be the head of the house. Please, just do this for me," he insisted. "I need time to think," I said, unsure of what to do. "Fine, but don't take too long," he said urgently. I was scared of what would happen if I didn't decide soon, so I asked my boss, Madison, for advice. She had been in a similar situation, married to a controlling man who changed after their wedding. She ended up divorcing him and raising her kids alone. I admired her strength. "That must have been hard," I said, thinking about my own marriage. Madison was supportive. "You can try working part-time if that helps. If he still doesn't agree, we can reduce your hours officially," she suggested. "That could work," I said, relieved to have a plan. Despite my efforts, Kevin wouldn't back down. "A wife should support her husband and take care of the home," he argued. "That's outdated. Most couples both work now," I said. "Maybe, but we're different. Can't you see that? I understand your feelings, but I don't agree," I told him. Every day, Kevin pressured me to quit. In the end, I officially resigned, but secretly kept working part-time, 4 days a week. Madison helped me, understanding my situation. "I quit my job, just like you wanted," I told Kevin, keeping up the act. "Appearances, really? Thanks. That makes me feel better about my job," he said, relieved but unaware of the truth. It was clear Kevin was mostly concerned with how others saw him. His sudden change left me confused. I chose to keep working secretly, hoping to save our relationship and maintain my independence. But soon, I realized that my hopes for a fresh start were unrealistic. Despite our new life, Kevin continued to control everything and take out his frustrations on me. One day, he surprised me with an unexpected request. "A colleague is coming over today. You need to host," he said, without any warning. I didn't know how to respond. "Sorry, it's last minute, just keep it simple," he told me before hanging up. I worked quickly to prepare drinks and snacks, but when Kevin came home, he was unhappy. "Didn't I tell you to prepare for today? You took keep it simple too literally. This looks bad for me. You need to do your job as my wife properly." "What's wrong with what I did?" I asked, feeling confused. "Nothing, I guess," he muttered, his face hard to read, so different from the man I had once known. After that, Kevin started inviting people over almost every week. He loved showing off, but expected me to always be ready and prepared. He wanted to look like the perfect husband. "Kevin, having guests over all the time is too much," I said one day. "It's fine, everyone enjoys it. You should support me, it's your job as my wife," he replied. "But how am I supposed to handle all this?" I asked. "Stop complaining," he snapped, brushing off my concerns. Every day, I woke up early to make breakfast, pack Kevin's lunch, and get his suit ready. When I worked part-time from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., I barely had time to rest, but I liked my job, it gave me a break. "Carol, you seem tired. Are you okay?" my coworker Deborah asked one day. "Yeah, a bit," I admitted. "Let me know if you need help," she offered. "Thanks, Deborah, you're such a good friend, unlike Kevin," I said. Deborah saw how poorly Kevin was treating me. She knew about my secret job and kept it quiet from him. "I appreciate you, Deborah," I said. "Bill talked about it, but I never thought Kevin would act this way." "Neither did I. I've tried talking to him, but he won't listen. We don't even talk much anymore." "I'm sorry, I wish I were stronger," I sighed. "Don't be too hard on yourself. You're doing great managing work and everything else," she encouraged me. "Thanks, that means a lot," I said, grateful for her support. But Kevin started feeling uncomfortable with how close Deborah and I had become. One day, he made a shocking decision. "Where's Deborah?" he asked. "She's with her mom," I replied, confused. "Her mom's getting older, so I thought it was best to put her in a home," he said casually. "Wait, you put her in a home?" I asked, shocked. "Yeah, she's settled in. Now I have the house to myself," he said, as if it was no big deal. I couldn't believe it. Kevin had made this decision without asking me. He wanted the house to himself, and this was his way of making it happen. When I visited Deborah in the facility, she seemed shocked but calm. "I'm sorry this happened," I said. "It's not your fault," Deborah reassured me. "I never thought he'd do something like this. I'll be fine, and you're always welcome here." "Thank you," I said, feeling guilty but grateful. Afterward, we moved into Kevin's parents' house. I kept managing everything, but Kevin never acknowledged my efforts. The idea of having kids, something we used to talk about excitedly, seemed far out of reach now. Kevin ignored me most of the time, and he started making weird rules, like I had to stay awake until he got home, no matter how late it was. If I happened to wake up after him, he'd get upset. "Will you be home soon?" I asked one evening. "I'm not sure, just stay up until I get back," he told me. One day, when Kevin came home late, I noticed something strange. As I hung up his suit, I smelled a sweet, feminine perfume, one I didn't wear. It was clear he was having an affair. Every time he came home late, I would smell the same perfume. That day, he even told me to go to bed before him, which made me suspicious. I quietly sat in the living room and overheard their conversation. "Oh, she's so clueless. When are you going to leave her?" a woman's voice asked. "I'll get rid of her soon," Kevin replied. It was obvious their relationship had been going on for a while. The perfume didn't shock me, but it disgusted me. Kevin was still my husband, and despite my hopes for a change, his behavior was still harsh and unloving. As we neared our third wedding anniversary, Kevin dropped another bombshell. "I have a business trip the day after tomorrow. I need you to get everything ready," he said. "That's short notice," I replied, suspicious of the timing. "I'll be gone for about 4 days. Make sure my clothes are ready," he ordered. I suspected the business trip was just an excuse to see his mistress. A colleague's wife had warned me, "If he suddenly talks about a business trip, be careful, our company doesn't have any." Her words stuck in my mind. I later found a chat on his phone where he admitted to taking paid leave for this supposed trip. That was the final straw for me. I had proof of his affair and decided I would confront him with divorce papers when he returned. But it was Kevin who made the first move. "Are you ready to leave? The movers will be here soon," he said coldly. When he got home, he told me I had to leave before he came back. "I need you to be gone before I get back," he demanded. "Why are you saying that so suddenly?" I asked, shocked by his harsh tone. "You can't expect me to leave immediately when you decide this out of nowhere," he snapped. "Then I'll wait a bit, but start getting ready to leave," he replied, dismissing my protests. Goodbye. I never imagined that my once gentle, overly caring husband would turn into such a controlling man. This was the final straw. The future I once dreamed of with him was now gone. I couldn't see any hope for a happy life with him. What happens next? I wondered aloud. "This could be interesting. Have the movers arrived yet?" he asked. "No need to hurry, they should be here soon," I answered. "Oh, and I almost forgot, I'm changing the locks on the house," he added casually. "Okay, got it," I replied, feeling my heart sink. His last parting words were, "I won't have to see your face again," which, strangely, felt like a relief. After nearly 3 years of marriage, I knew our relationship was over. I quickly left the house and soon after told my lawyer to file for divorce. To make matters worse, my husband boldly posted pictures with his mistress on social media, showing no shame at all. How could he be so careless? I thought, not realizing he was giving more proof of his affair. Even our mutual friends noticed his odd behavior, marking the public end of what we once had. After leaving my in-laws' home, I went back to full-time work and moved into a high-rise apartment in the suburbs, a place I had always dreamed of living. The apartment was spacious, perfect for one, and I felt free without Kevin around. About a month later, one morning the doorbell startled me. When I checked the monitor, I was shocked to see Kevin standing outside. "Hey, it's me, Kevin. Open up, Carol," he called out, his tone demanding and full of entitlement. His sudden appearance left me confused. I decided to act like I didn't know him, thinking it might be better than just rejecting him outright. Who are you?" "I'm sorry, but I don't know you," I said through the intercom. "Don't tell me you've forgotten your husband's face," he insisted. "I'm not married, I think you've got the wrong person," I replied, watching desperation spread over his face. He looked nothing like the timid man I once knew. "Please, just listen, I've been fooled, and I need Carol's help," he pleaded. "I'm sorry, but I don't owe you any help. If you keep trying, I'll call the police." "I really don't know you," I said firmly, determined to treat him like a stranger. Kevin must have thought I would always be there to solve his problems, but I was no longer willing to take care of him. Still, he wouldn't give up. "That's it, you made this mess, so it's up to you to fix it. You don't have to be so hard on me," he whimpered. "And by the way, you can't stay at your parents' place anymore," he added suddenly. "What do you mean? Do you even know whose name the house is under?" I asked, surprised. "No, but it used to belong to Deborah. Now it's in my name," I explained, revealing a big change. Kevin had no idea that I had been forced to leave when I told Deborah, which had hurt and disappointed her deeply. "I can't believe my son turned out like this. I'm really sorry, especially after all you've done for us," Deborah had said during one of our conversations. "Deborah, you're divorcing Kevin, right?" she had asked. "Yes, it's for the best," I confirmed. "In that case, I'll transfer the house to you," she offered, a decision that surprised both me and, no doubt, Kevin. Kevin would have been confused by why Deborah was giving me the in-laws' house. He didn't know that he had been living with his mistress all along. "That's the situation. Understand and leave quickly," I said, ending any chance of reconciliation. "We probably won't see each other again." I made it clear that if he kept trying, I wouldn't hesitate to call the police. With that firm warning, he finally left. The divorce went forward as planned, and I received the settlement we agreed upon. In the end, Kevin had been misled and financially taken advantage of by his mistress. The divorce settlement came to about $410,000. His mistress abandoned him as soon as the money ran out. But I wasn't going to stop there. I hired a lawyer and a detective to make sure every financial claim against him was pursued. I also filed for an extra divorce settlement of over $22,000. The in-laws' house was officially transferred to me. I had insisted that Kevin leave the house, and although he resisted at first, the legal process forced him to comply. As for his current whereabouts, I'm not interested. His company eventually learned about the photos he posted with his mistress on social media. Unable to deal with the public shame and the end of his extravagant lifestyle, Kevin chose to resign. It was inevitable given who he really was. If I could say one last thing about the whole ordeal, it would be this: I don't dwell on it. I'm divorced now, and I see it as a lesson, a chance to move forward. My friendship with Deborah remains strong, and I plan to focus on my career, enjoy my independence, and embrace all the freedom and opportunities life now offers me. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more great stories. Don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, we love hearing from you. See you next time, and take care.